Please call the roll. Mr. Brown.
Yes.
Ms. Ewing.
Yes.
Mr. George.
Here.
Ms. Migrant.
Yes.
Mr. Stoll.
Yes.
Mr. Shannon.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You have the minutes in front of you from September 27th. Take a few minutes to look over them.
Motion to approve.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Mr. Brown.
Yes.
Mr. George.
Yes.
Ms. Migrant.
Yes.
Mr. Shannon.
Yes.
Ms. Ewing.
Yes.
Mr. Stoll.
Yes.
You also have in front of you bank reconciliation for September 2021 with the monthly receipts. $48,864.24. The monthly receipts.
Second.
First and second, any further discussion on that one?
Is it 24 or 42 cents?
I read 24.
I saw that, yeah, I saw that on the front. In the bank,
On the back, it says 42.
yeah.
So I think we.
Can we change the front, please? Thank you. Because the back adds up.
So $148,864.42.
Thank you.
Did you make a motion? We have a first,
We had a first and a second in the discussion. Do we have to remotion?
pardon me?
Do we have to remotion then?
No. We
Okay.
had discussion.
Okay.
Any further discussion? If not, please call the roll.
Mr. Brown.
Yes.
Ms. Ewing.
Yes.
Ms. Migrant.
Yes.
Mr. Shannon. Mr. Stoll.
Yes.
Mr. George.
Yes.
You also have approval of the vouchers, $127,163.64.
Motion to approve.
Any discussion on that? Hearing none, go ahead and call the roll, please.
Ms. Ewing.
Yes.
Mr. George.
Yes.
Ms. Migrant.
Yes.
Mr. Shannon.
Yes.
Mr. Brown.
Yes.
Mr. Stoll.
Yes.
And we also have approval of the gas and the ERUs. This is the month to have customers pay off their balance. So hopefully here at the end of the month, it'll look good for us. Is there a motion then to approve that?
Motion to approve.
Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Mr. Brown.
Yes.
Mr. George.
Yes.
Ms. Migrant.
Yes.
Mr. Stoll.
Yes.
Mr. Shannon. Ms. Ewing.
Yes.
Okay, we have several visitors this evening, and it looks like Mr. Fasek, you are the only one that would like to speak in regards to the truck.
Yes, so I stopped over at Chuck's house, he invited me over, and took me into his backyard. And
Oh, Chuck Rader? you
Chuck
said?
Rader,
Okay.
yeah. And invited me into his backyard, went back and showed me the truck that's sitting there in the backyard. So I took a picture of it, sent it to Greg, sent that to him on 10/8 of 21, right? And then, so I guess he's getting tired of looking at it. It's got expired plates, tags on it, right? It's,
There
I
was-
realize you can't see it from anywhere else, but Chuck has to look at it all the time.
We will check into that. There was an article that was put in the newsletter about vehicles. that
Yeah,
are-
and he was already pre-served with paper in 2019.
I will share that with Greg. And we'll see where we go.
So, yeah, that's scary.
There's several sitting around that are being able to be seen, so, okay, thank you. Jim, you had the cemetery committee report from September 28th.
Yes. Here. There was the section, or the clerk report section, there's enough room for the Jones lawn. I think that was the one for the Earl, wasn't it? There was some problem there about enough room for,
Okay,
Good
that
stone.
gal is still at the funeral home,
oh, okay.
so she hasn't been buried yet.
And the clerk and Eileen are still assisting in location of graves, and they're sorting out the records. They met with the EMP for risk assessment toward the cemetery. And they found everything, and they're going to, they said we do need a new fire extinguisher, and they give them some ideas on safety guidance that they could spend, what was that, $1,000 that they could spend. And they also was going to contract hauls. There was a dead tree that needed to be removed. Brenda asked the clerk to send the minutes of the meeting and the financial reports to her email prior to meetings. And she said she was going to do that. I originally thought that was a good idea, but for me, myself, I'm just going to have her, print them out, have them, because I didn't really see what I was going to benefit from printing them out. So I did change my mind on that. I think the adjusted bank balance was $71,949.80. That was on 9/1/2021. That's about it.
Was that, that HEP grant that they're gonna use to try to get the fire extinguishers, that $1,000?
Yes. Well, it's fire extinguisher, reflective jackets, boots, goggles, safety codes, first aid kits for distribution.
We put that together right away. That's what we bought, signs and some of those stop signs. Thank you. Any questions for Jim? Hey, old business. Anything under old business?
Boots, website and password. Any progress on that?
I think Rob and Melissa are putting together a letter to try to get that squared away. We do not have the password for the website.
I mean, it's basically like he left with a piece of equipment, I mean, it's proprietary information, whatever what you want to use, we should have it. I did try to reach out to him by email. And he didn't respond. So I like to have a letter in the file. I'll set up an email, you would say, hey, and Melissa and I working on something else with that, so I would assume that's something's probably gonna go out this week. Or,
Yeah, I can get, yeah,
okay, well, whenever, but
no, fine, you're right. Yeah,
that way there's
friendly,
nothing left to address with them if we do that, so.
waiting long enough, it's gotta get taken care of.
Anything else under old business?
I have, Mr. Mark Sheffer from Northwest Water and Sewer District contacted me again regarding his reappointment vote. I believe that council tabled that vote. I would like to make a recommendation for a motion to go ahead with that vote unless council sees difference.
I will say, if you noticed in Greg's report, John Spoko did come down and walked all of the areas, and they will all be redone. He was pretty disappointed in what had happened. If they realized that it wasn't top quality what they expect. It's better than nothing, so it will all be redone.
But we shouldn't have to refuse to pass a motion for them to come down here and realize that they did a crappy job. That should be their
And
responsibility.
believe me, when this next project starts up, we all know what we will be looking for in our expectation.
I did request compaction reports. I really don't want to get into these without Greg here because they were sent to Greg. But I'm pretty sure there's some streets that there was no test done.
There was none done on Cooper Street, and he felt that there had been, no. But he does have lots of numbers. So at least they are providing what they said they would.
The report. There's no compaction test done on Cooper Street, or we find some missing protocol on other streets, what are reports?
But the streets is going to settle.
We're gonna be stuck paying for potholes.
Well, they have a year guarantee according to what they said to us, right? That they'll come back and walk the project, and I
For a
mean,
year.
after that, though,
They would go after their contractor. So it would have to come out of their contractor, whoever they contracted to do that work. And he would have to, we'll say, tear it up and redo it. For lack of knowing what you have to do, I don't know how much it is, but they would be the ones that would have to go after their subcontractor or who they award the contract to.
So it might help council to know, when is that the council's ability to put somebody's name up due?
Well,
Is that
that
closed?
It's
his,
been-
it runs out in December.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, it's,
So this council has a one say.
we had one vote out of 17 districts or whatever.
And there's only one person.
And I do understand that there's other districts that haven't voted too.
That's my understanding. I did not call them. I received a letter dated September 24th. We are still waiting for the majority of the municipalities to appoint a new board member to our water and sewer district. We haven't heard from their municipality yet. Please vote soon if you can. So do you want to make a motion? We'll see where it goes.
Yeah, I would move that we vote on this. I don't know what, to me, I don't know. I mean, my personal feeling is that, like I said, we're one of 17 votes. I think, get on with it, get over with it. I'm sorry.
Didn't get their attention though.
Well, I mean,
Purpose.
it's nothing against the gentleman.
I'm sorry?
It's nothing against the gentleman that's running or up for, it's nothing to do with that. They
well,
have
that's
to,
fine.
But it
Then-
starts to look like that if the longer we drag it out, that it will, we have an issue with the gentleman. That's just my,
did we ever find in the contract where it says we have to pass the resolution?
for this, I didn't look at it, but they told us that night that that's in their bylaws.
What you mean, vote or?
If you don't want to vote on it, we won't vote. Something else, if there is no second to my, we won't vote. I won't bring it up again. Somebody else will have to bring it up again.
Well, I'll repeat my second, because I seconded it the first time. I think it's the proper thing to do.
So we have a first and a second. Any further discussion?
This is actual voting. Or just unpayable. I don't know. How do we have?
Well, you made a motion to vote for the guy. You have a
Okay.
sheet.
If it was tabled. We will have to.
No.
Okay,
just brought it
I
up.
just,
Okay.
Any further discussion on that? If not, then go ahead and call the roll, Melissa.
Mr. Brown,
Yes.
Ms. Ewing,
Yes,
Mr. Stroll,
No,
Mr. Shannon,
Yes.
Ms. Migrant,
Yes,
Mr. George.
Yes.
Okay, I will send that in and. Any other old business? Any new business?
I would just like to bring up the, I would like my appreciation and village, I would hope council and everybody in the village of all that are responsible for our newsletter. I think it is, very informative, and very concise, and I look forward to reading that every month. We're all over involved with that. My appreciation. Very much.
Thank you. Brenda had worked heavily on it. This past time, we're trying to have Haley kind of come in and work on the newsletter, take a little more ownership in that. If you have ideas and topics, let me know. I know we did have some stuff about the cemetery in there, and it was kind of neat. I didn't know all those facts, and Midge's mom, Deb, we talked about doing a tour, like a late night tour in the cemetery sometime. I think that'd be kind of fun. I know when we used to take our kids to Washington DC, as eighth graders, we did, they would dress in periodic and take the kids around throughout the village of Williamsburg, and it was pretty interesting.
and just so you know, she's already has that set, so whoever would like to,
Okay,
she's got it all planned out in her mind.
okay, then I need to talk to Deb
Yeah,
then.
you do.
Nice evenings like this would be fun.
Yeah, she always wanted to do it like around Halloween.
Halloween,
And just have different people stand at different graves with,
Mhm.
little things to say.
And they always carry the lanterns. And so it's pretty cool. Any other new business? Okay, council reports. Jim, do you have anything to add tonight?
nope.
Mitch,
Not tonight?
Brenda?
I'd just like to say that for the upcoming fiscal meeting, because most of our fiscal work is done, that we should take this advantage while we have that and align our documents going forward, like taking a look at what equipment will come off the end of this year, what equipment needs to go for next year's budget, what's our pie in the sky for, what big ticket items do we want, and how we're going to line those up going in the out years. Greg will give us a lot of guidance, I think, in that, but we've talked about different things with leaf collectors and plows and jet rodders and whatever else is on that list. I can't just remember, but this is the time to do that. And then if we can have a very successful meeting that, where we can just lay it out, there's no right, wrong answer, but just lay it out there. And then unless something comes up, we will take November and December off for fiscal. Because the work is done as far as the appropriations is laid out. So
And are we looking at 4:30?
I believe that's the right time. Yes. I'm sorry.
And planning and zoning then will be at 3:30?
Yes. Mhm.
I know that there's a couple of things.
Yeah.
Anything else, Brenda?
No, that's it. Thank you.
Greg?
No, I was gonna, one thing I had was gonna ask Greg about the Kubota and that. Any of that stuff went on government.
It's on there.
It's on.
It's being, I think it's up to, I want to say 11.5 now. Well, somewhere in there.
Well, Hancock would put a bucket truck
Mhm.
on their auction site too. Last week it was 15,000. I thought, keep an eye on it. I checked here, it's 27,000 now.
The problem with that one, I believe it's a crew cab, right? Which
Cab with a
our
diesel.
guys don't really need a crew, so. But keep your eyes out.
I'm doing,
Okay, good.
Roads committee will be getting together here in the next couple of weeks to discuss future road projects. We're working on dates right now. Greg got the email started
Mhm.
last week and Brenda and I have responded. I gotta look into my schedule for a good date for all of us to meet.
That's just, streets is you, me and Brenda, right?
Yes,
Mhm.
You're the chairman.
and Greg.
Great, yeah.
Right. And we do have that book that we have all of the roads kind of rated from the county engineer. That should help to kind of look at some of those future.
Greg's got that.
Okay, and I would personally like to get a schedule from Northwest Water if they can go 2 or 3 years down the road to see if they have any more projects further than what they're doing next year.
Anything else?
No.
Okay, Jeremy?
I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, under legislative then, we do have a few things. You want to talk about any of those before we pass them? Maybe put an explanation in there for everyone.
If anybody has any questions about the resolution. Appropriations. The explanation.
Hold on here.
Okay, we'll go ahead and read it.
Resolution R 2021-10, a resolution authorizing an increase in appropriations in the following funds and declaring an emergency.
And since it's a resolution, we don't have to suspend the rules, we vote once.
Motion to approve.
Second,
Any discussion on that one? No, go ahead and call the roll, please.
Mr. Brown,
yes,
Mr. George,
Yes.
Mr. Stroll,
Yes.
Mr. Shannon,
yes,
Ms. Ewing,
yes,
Ms. Migrant.
Yes.
Share some more of your good news there. Feeling much better, your shoulders
I
are
am.
coming up.
I'm, yeah, like I said, I'm up to date with all the receipts for October, it's just wonderful. It's like normal. Taking a long, that's why I keep telling Greg, it takes a long time. Dig out. I included the park hours on my report, 1,120 hours for the year. 2 employees at Mo. That's about it.
Kathy, what did we originally have budgeted? Do you remember? Was it 10 or 12?
Hours.
It was
12.
800, and we got to 10,000 hours.
And that was enough to cover?
I was thinking
Yes.
it was 12.
Yeah, I thought, I couldn't remember if it was 10 or 12.
We've got about $2,500, like, wrong line. $142 left in that account.
And
I think they're done. Okay.
I think he pulled them from Mo this week here since the rain and it is growing. So.
Did they get together all of that? We got that.
pretty sure. 'Cause I think they were both out there, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, any other questions in from Melissa? Thank you. And you have Greg's report in front of you. Number 3, the county did come down and jet that roots out down there. I did drive down after the rain and just as dry as could be. I know we only got a little over an inch, but still. So I know that the guys were pretty impressed with watching somebody else use that.
They did come down and do Cherry Street
Yeah.
too. And yeah, that was they have a very nice piece of equipment.
Brand new. And they went both ways,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah,
Which
across the field up, all
Okay.
as far as they could go to where the main line goes out.
I do know that Greg mentioned today that out by one of the ball diamonds, it's pretty squishy. And they're gonna take the new camera out there and go through it. So that'll be our first adventure with our new camera. Number 4, splash pad worked. So hopefully next year we'll be up and running. And pool will be open in the splash pad. He walked with John, I mentioned that. Number 6, they have provided Greg with all the pre-construction plans. They're all on a little, plug in your computer,
Flash
Bomb.
drive.
Yeah.
flash drive, yeah, that's came around after I was old, so. I mean, no, they're not flash, they're a flash drive. And they have contacted them, they had originally said they might start in December, they are not going to start until next year. And the pre-planning committee will be down here, so I'm sure as soon as we get that date, that'll be one that we all want to get those plans over and be on the, coming up this year. for that project. Push camera for training. went well, the banners are up on Main Street, the flags are down. I will say that, I'm checking, we think there's enough banners that have already been purchased for next year to fill all of the poles, so I don't know, we may not have as many flags up, that's what I'm saying, if we have banners versus flags for a while. You got the street committee there, and obviously the light down by the library is still flashing. Greg did do the $1,200 to rebuild it versus $3,500 for a brand new one. They said the rebuild would be same as a brand new one, so it just is taking longer. I personally kind of like it.
I was gonna say, it can stay flashing forever.
I can pull up, look and go, except for that one.
That bush.
David Courtwright's,
Yeah.
that yard.
I still don't know who bought that. I just looked again yesterday.
It's someone from the prosecutor's office gave me a name, but it's not a real name. It's like an LCC or something. So I figured somebody thinks it's with
It's a beautiful house
it.
and trimming the trees.
And trimming that tree. Maybe we should have the guys cut it now. Oh, we didn't know.
You're talking about trimming trees,
Mhm.
those stop signs at Main Street, and Church Street.
Mm.
Denny and Pam Glosser reached out to me, the alley behind their place. They was wondering if they could get that trimmed.
Did you say anything to Greg or not?
Hmm,
I'll write it
not
down.
recently.
Behind Denny and Pam?
Mhm.
There's a tree there on the, I don't know who owns it, it was Kepling's, it was. But there's a tree there, when you pull up there, that stop sign jumps right up, you know, when you see it. It needs to be trimmed, I'm pretty sure the tree's on the town right away.
There is a new grant that Greg sent to me about trees in the right of way. I don't know if they're going to help fund new trees. I really haven't had a chance to read over it. He just sent it this afternoon. And Northwest will be replacing these 5 trees down here in October. So that's on it. And I think that's all of Greg's. Any questions you want me to ask him, or you want to call him? I have your note written down, and I'll mention them. Yes.
We probably need to run the camera in the storm drain that runs between the old grocery store, because those three drains come together behind the old grocery store. And they run clear across to the trailer park. And then that line goes all the way to East South Street and then out to 186 there and
Okay.
goes north. But I believe that there is a collapsed tile or a something else blocking that particular line. And it's roughly 150 feet or more from the trailer park. And
Which way from the trailer park?
going south. It goes south towards the drains that are in the, and those drains are the ones, it drains all of that Southcrest, Christie Court and all that. It drains the grocery store. And as you know, the grocery store always floods in the back end. And it drains a portion of Todd Street.
I'll say
So-
something. I know that Northwest ran a camera somewhere, and they got it through, but I'm not sure where it was now.
On that one, when I was there, they couldn't go any further because they ran out of cable.
Okay.
So,
I will make note of this. Right in
okay, thanks.
there.
Those 6 gas delinquent bills. Joe and I are still chasing down some people on taxes. We have some hearings coming up and reviving some old ones. And we're finding new information on, and Melissa and I are working on the Stoller and Crawford stuff.
Mr. Miles, didn't you tell me you had another hearing coming
And yes, at the end of October,
in? Okay,
he's represented by a public defender's office, and that was one of the cases that Jim and I talked about, that'll be addressed.
part of the gas.
What he wants to do with that.
Okay, okay. All right. Any questions for Rob?
I'm going to be working with the Cookie Factory on trying to get an emergency plan in case they have like an active shooter or something like that. They contacted me for that. So I'm going to contact the sheriff's office and try to go through maybe like their SRT for the fact that that's who's going to be flying my way anyhow. But I'll be heavily involved in that because I'm going to be the first one in there before anybody else gets in there anyways. So we're going to start working on that. I'm working with the school right now. They have applied for a grant for extra lighting on the exterior of the school to try to brighten some areas up that don't have very much lighting or none at all. So I'm kind of working with them on that, and I have to okay it before they can push it through, I guess. So I'll be doing some walkthroughs at night around the school area to try to figure out all these dark areas.
So don't, if I see you, somebody walking around there
Yep,
back. don't call
probably
the cops.
me. Yeah, probably me. The Lions Club has invited me to their meeting tomorrow night, so I'll be doing that at 7. They would like to know how things are going and what I feel our future plans are, which I'm not really sure yet, so no. Last week it was kind of washed for me. I was sick. I spent a lot of time in the office trying to get some grants and things rolling and some paperwork, but I laid pretty low. The week before that, I had 13 calls for service. A lot of them were at the school. They're keeping me pretty busy. 1 incident, 5 traffic stops, and a citation.
What's up with the calls to school when they got an SRO officer?
They don't really. Well, they have an SRO, but he has no police powers. And the things that they're dealing with could possibly be charges. So they have to bring me in. That's where I think maybe future talks with the school down the line after their contracts are up might be beneficial. So
I believe that contract is up at the end of this
it
year.
is,
Mhm.
yes.
At one time when I was on council, Tony had come in and talked a little bit about hiring an officer as an SRO. And then we would use that officer throughout the summer, sometime when vacations and things like that. So that may be back on the table to even start to think about.
And we did a lot of that in Putnam County. Our SRO was in the school during the week, but he still, he spent his time out on the road in the summertime, picking up hours and helping out on some weekends. So it's nice to have a uniformed person in the school that can do it all, because I spent almost my entire week there the week before.
I was very fortunate to have all of them that were officers. Because they had.
So the school resource officers that are out there are not, Police
They do
officers?
not, no, they do not have police powers.
Let's be safe.
He is a secure, armed
It's not the
security
sheriff's.
is what he is.
It's not through the sheriff's department like Liberty Benton or I
or
forget
like
the,
Arcadia.
Arcadia hired a cast deputy on their own, so that SRO was he no longer works for the sheriff's department.
I mean, the SRO is great to work with. I haven't had any issues with him. We work well together, but it's just been like last week, but the week before, I was there every day for 4 or 5 hours a day. So we had a lot of issues.
So that's cost savings to the school and by using these safe, is that? what
I'm
they're-
not really sure why they went with these things. I'm not sure.
they used to have Hancock County Sheriff in there.
Yeah, I knew they did.
And then they had a Macomb deputy in there for a while.
No, they always use sheriff's department.
Here's-
Glad you're feeling better back out.
Mike McGuire.
Thank
was
you.
there for a
Me
long
too.
time.
Okay, that brings me up to 9. ICROM, I'm still looking into possibility of a grant to get some of that. If nothing else, I think we better look at maybe the software update in case something happens there. You have a census update of 1,558 people. I believe that's down a little bit. It was 1,600. Mr. Finer went to court with Miss Steele Loving Miles, and she said she owes the money. She's been in to see me recently. Very concerned about turning her heat back on. She has a $2,300 bill that I feel needs to be significantly reduced before we turn it on. My fear is we turn it on and it'll just continue to increase. And then the government will tell us we can't turn it off, and there will be. I gave her 2 numbers to call and said, get your best sob story. See if they'll help her out.
It's not even that much money. Those organizations help people out. Go way beyond that.
Mhm.
My take on this lady was, I mean, she's not helping herself.
No,
It's easy, but whatever.
So
So we have a judgment discerning interest, so she's got to do something.
just a reminder to everyone who is running for an election, the signs cannot be in the town right away. They have to be behind the sidewalks. So if Tammy, if you're out and about, you see any of them, either gather them up or put them behind. I had seen one, but it's since been moved, so. I'm working on holidays for next year so that we're not stuck with Juneteenth on a Friday, September 3rd. I'm not sure what other holidays will be added yet this year. Columbus Day became Indigenous Day or something. The EDO has asked everyone who's running for an election to come to the school on the 27th and give a little 3-minute update about what you're running on. And I mentioned about the flags that you guys did take down. We have a donor who is purchasing American flags and some POW and a few state flags as well. So hopefully we'll get a few of those newer ones up. I know ours out front here is in dire need. I think that's all I have. Anything else? Record time. Hit it fast? I haven't hit it yet. I just listened. There, we're adjourned. Thank you.
That's what I thought I heard.
There, time for about October 27th.
I think it's 7.